look at the bright side of life. And I mean that in a way where it's like, you know, in our day to day life, we are surrounded by negativity, whether it's people we know, social media, our phones, just gossip, and all these other external things that create chaos and create disruption. When in reality, it's like all of that, sure, may attract our mind just because it's negative. It's some sort of instinct. It's like, okay, what do we have to worry about? Sometimes we have to take a step back, allow ourselves to breathe, and be like, let's look at the bright side of life. Let's look at the bright side of a problem, a perspective. You know, it's all a matter of perspective. We have a singular problem, but two different people have two different perspectives on it. Someone gets in a car crash, they may say, man, why does it always happen to me? This and that. This only happens to me. Oh, my day was already bad. Those kinds of thoughts that show up. And on the other side, you may have the next person number two, who's like, I don't know why this happened. There must have been a reason. And it's a sort of optimism and hope that shows through itself, through themselves, through their own hopeful mentality. And even the situation itself may not be the best. Okay, I got in an accident. What could I take from this? What could I do moving forward? And it's not necessarily the problem that presents itself, it's what happens after. What do you do after? How do you deal with it? How do you deal with the emotions, the thoughts, and the actions that happen after? Because sure, the accident happened. I can't do anything about it at this point. Out of my hands. I can't go back in time. I can't do none of that. But what can I do moving forward? What is the plan? Okay, I can get my car repaired, and if not, I can go, get a new car. It may take time, sure, but at least I'm alive. At least I'm alive and kicking. I may have to use a bus. I may have to Uber. I may, whatever the result might be. I can use a bike to save money. It's all a matter of perspective and how we choose to deal with things that present ourselves in our life, because it may be a good thing that happens. Okay, what do I want to do after? I got a new car. What am I doing after with it? And I'm only sticking to a car just because that's the first thing in my mind. I got a new car. Okay. I guess I can. There must have been a reason why I got it. My old car broke down, so now I don't have that worry. Or the old car, it was just old, and I wanted something newer. I wanted something that would be more sustained or more assured that it's gonna get me from point A and point B. But even so, it gets me thinking of like social media and just how everything is just made to kind of make your mind go in a negative space. You go on social media, that's a lot of times it could be negative. Algorithm aside, putting all that aside, because especially with something like TikTok, I'm assuming a lot of us just have entertainment, things that make us laugh, feel good, of course. But I'm saying that past all that, even so we can dive into that negativity we like, and it shows us more of what we don't like, and we engage with it, and they go based off that engagement. And guess what? A lot of times it's fear, negativity that drives us, that shows the most emotion, shows the most reaction. It's that reaction they're going for, trying to get you to stay on that and trying to make you go with one way or another way. And it's all a matter of their own best interest in a way. But I just straying away from that, it's what I wanted to get to is the fact that things are heavily distracting on social media. Not even social media, phones. And and we've come to the realization that it affects us, whether it's attention, memory, and even our concentration. All that is kind of connected. But even so, in the way we interact with people, we're not out and engaged with people. Our social skills suffer. And saying that to say, it's like trying to take a step back or being more conscious with how we use our phone. Is like, sure, it's a blessing and a curse. It's good and bad. It's neither good or bad too. You know, it's just an object. It's how we use it too. Do we use it for our own benefit, our own, creation? What do we create from it? Or do we use it for our own destruction and demise and our own negative loop patterns that just put us in a cycle of repeated emotions that last longer than they should? Because that's what I find interesting. It's like you like one sad post, another one pops up. You like that, and it keeps repeating. Or you like something that's funny, it keeps showing something funny. So it's like, what society you want to engage with? Because there's so much to life. Not even just on the phones, but in life in general. Just being outside, just communicating with people, or even so, it's like hobbies, passions, interests, and if you don't know any of that, even more of a reason to go out and explore. Experience is necessary. And I'm very hopeful for, the future. I'm very hopeful. And it's kind of funny because it's like, I know it's going to go well, so it's like, in a weird way, knowing and hoping don't kind of mix, because if you know something, it's like you don't. I feel like there's a different word. There's a different word than hope, because hope is separate. Never mind. There's a separate word. But even so, it's like hoping for the best. Even in worst case scenario, or the worst possible thing, you acknowledge it, but that's about it. You acknowledge it, but want the best. Although sometimes the result may not be in your hands. You may not necessarily be able to control the result, or neither should you be attached to it. But it's just, you still want the best to happen. And even if you fail, okay, I can learn. That's still a good thing. Shows I got more to learn. Shows I got more to prove to myself, or more to be. And sometimes I feel as if we get lost in just thoughts of who we used to be. We act based upon a person who we were 3-4 years ago, expecting to be the same person. When we have 3-4 more years of experience, it may be the same routine, but still, you should know that you changed a bit. You should know that your mindset has changed a bit, it's altered a bit. So with that realization, it's like, you can change more. You can change more. You aren't stunted, you aren't held back. Actually, you could be held back by something, but that doesn't mean you're completely stopped or halted. That doesn't mean you're done. That's not the end of your journey, because you still got a pulse, you're still breathing, you're still able to move, speak, think. You still have autonomy. You can still move around, so there's still chance for change. There's still room for change. And you may be at a spot where it's like, I'm okay with it, with everything I have, because in some weird way too, it's like you're trying to reach onto things that change. I want to change this. It's like, and you say I want to change in order to be happy. It's like, I don't think that's going to be the root cause of your happiness. I think there's something deep down beneath that is holding you back from it, because you reach for one thing, you reach for another thing, and it's like it constantly keeps running away. The main thing you're trying to go for is running away from you. You reach financial success, but happiness isn't necessarily attached to that in some way. It does play a part, does ease some worry and stress, but it's not the end all be all. So I don't know, I guess sometimes we have to take a look at the reason why we're doing what we do. Why? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? It's interesting. It's interesting seeing why. And, back to the whole, issue at hand, like looking at the bright side. All said and done, I'm still alive. I can still make the choice to change and grow in whatever way I see that I need. But even so, I guess that whole idea of trying to reach for a better self. It's like you're reaching, you're pushing yourself, and in some weird way, it seems like you're gonna get burnt out by that. You're gonna get burnt out because you're pushing yourself. You're pushing yourself, when in reality, it's like you slowly just it comes to you in a weird way. Like in one way, it's like you're trying to chase it down. In another way, it's like you slowly just come towards it and you just embrace it, and you are. I don't know if that's because it's a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to try and explain, because I don't know if it's because of my lack of vocabulary or my lack of understanding completely, but at the same time, it's like it's something you become. It's just that's the best way I can put it. Because the more I try and explain it, the more I try and just put words into it, it's like the more it seems to kind of just lose itself, get lost. The more it just deviates from the true intention. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm hopeful, you know. I think there's so much to life that I still don't know yet, you know, with all the experiences I've had, trying to create new experiences, whether it's something small. It doesn't have to be something huge, it doesn't have to be something enormous, some life-changing thing. It can be something small. Let me try out this new restaurant, let me try out this new snack, let me try out a new type of shirt, a new type of clothes. Let me try a different way of my routine. Let me try learning a different language. Let me try, you know, there's so many small things that you could do, small little habits you can change. Let me try a new hairstyle, who knows. But it's the fact that you're just open to it, and you're just looking at new things, new ways to perceive life. But other than that, I just kind of leave it off there. I just want to leave it off there, because I don't know, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. See ya.